Shorten and his team at the Labor conference. This will cripple small business. This will directly impact the services that Australians rely on, hard-working Australians, whether it be schools or hospitals, or also our farmers who have got their produce that will be rotting on the wharves if we see an increase in industrial disputation back to the 1970s, where it was at 40 times a higher rate at that period of time. So the news is good, but there are risks, and the biggest risk is Bill Shorten.
I'm just on businesses in trouble. It sounds like Red Star Transport is maybe going into administration. The TWU is blaming the federal government for putting a financial squeeze on companies like this. What's the response on that?
Well, look, I don't have any direct information in relation to that specific matter, but what I would say is that there'll be a whole host of businesses at risk under Labor, a whole heap of small businesses under risk with a Labor-led government. We have the CFMEU, who will be in charge of the industrial relations policy. They will abolish the regulator that has currently put a stop to the bullying, the thuggery and intimidation of small businesses and their employees. Well, that will run riot if we see a change to industrial laws, and that will happen under Bill Shorten.
Would you consider a road safety watchdog?
So the government's been very clear. The Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal was nothing more than a membership drive for the TWU. It's no wonder they're advocating so strongly for it, because of course their membership and their fees rely upon it. We saw many small businesses say that they would be put out of business if there was a Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal. Of course we want people to be safe on the road, and of course we believe in strong safety laws, but this was nothing more than putting independent contractors out of business and handing over their contracts to big business and big unions.
If that Red Star company is going under, is there any role for the government to help those affected workers?
Well, look, as I said, I don't have information in relation to that specific case, so I'm not willing to give you a comment. But, you know, I'm very happy to have a look at that particular issue that you've raised. But as I said, the real risk for businesses out there is Bill Shorten and Labor, their industrial laws, the strike first and ask questions later, industrial-wide disputation, which they have agreed will be part and parcel of a Shorten-led government. These are the things that will actually concern hard-working Australians that not only want to have a good job, not only want to be paid well for that job, but want to be able to create a better life for themselves and their families. And that is again why the government's economic plan is working. We want hard-working Australians to have more money in their pocket. When Labor talks about a wages policy, they never mention tax. They never talk about how much money will be left in your pocket. Well, it's going to be very clear the sharp contrast between us and Labor when it comes to how much money will be in your pocket. We have got a tax policy that will actually reduce the tax burden on individuals, whether it be their personal income tax or on small and medium-sized family businesses, reducing their tax burden. Under Labor, people will be paying $200 billion worth of new or increased taxes.
Just on a separate topic, what's your view on the derogatory text messages being exchanged by Liberal power brokers?
Well, look, I read the reports of those comments and frankly I'm pretty disgusted by them. I don't think that those comments have any place in a modern Liberal Party, and I think that those individuals who've been named need to examine their behaviour and need to examine their next steps.
Minister, would you go as far as to say they should resign from, or at least one of them, from the admin committee?
Well, look, you know, I'm sure that the senior Victorian, who's also deputy leader of the Liberal Party, Josh Frydenberg, I'm sure that he will have something to say about this at the administrative committee meeting that I know will occur this week, and I'm sure it will be pretty strong. I've heard the comments that have been made by Ted Baillieu and Jeff Kennett, and frankly, they're two party elders who don't always agree on everything, but They certainly agree on this.
Do you think that as part of the sort of post-election review here in Victoria, that it should be wider than just the election and actually look at the culture of the party and the administration of the party, so situations like this may not happen?
Well, I'm greatly encouraged that in Victoria we have a new president, someone who will be a new broom in the Victorian Liberal Party. We need to make sure that people have confidence in not only our elected officials but also in our party officials. We are a modern Liberal Party. We believe in lower taxes, we believe in smaller government, and we believe in people being free to create their own path in life. We also strongly believe in having a strong social safety net for those people who need a hand up. You know, as I said, I'm very confident that there will be a full review and full examination that is entirely appropriate, and I look forward to hearing the results from that. Many thanks.
And Paul Mitchell stand aside.
And you've just been listening there to the Minister for Jobs and Industrial Relations there, Kelly Odwyer, warning of adverse effects of changes to the industrial laws should a Labor government come to power. She was also disputing Labor's claim that the coalition hasn't been able to address the issue of wage growth. Now, of course, her comments come after news broke a little earlier today that the unemployment rate has actually edged up to 5.1%. This is despite the creation of more than 37,000 jobs last month. Let's move on.